Hello and welcome to iCatholic. I'm Wendy Grace and I'm joined now by Fr Lorcan Kenny, who is in Killaloe. He's going to tell us a little bit about the trilogy of books that he has written. Fr Lorcan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much for having me, Wendy.
So tell us a little bit about this trilogy. What are they all about and why did you decide to write them?
So I wrote them during lockdown. So there was different moments. There's voices of hope, voices of sorrow, and voices of joy. So they're Easter, they're Lent, and they're Christmas. And there are 7 different characters in each of the book who kind of articulate those emotions. But they're kind of it's a mixture of Franciscan and Augustinian spirituality. So they're a little tool book that people sit down with and pray with. So it's whichever character speaks most to your heart is the one that I'd encourage you to be drawn towards.
So you're using 7 voices in the book and hoping that, as you say, different voices will connect up with different people. Give us a flavour of some of the voices in the first book that you have out.
So at the moment, what's just out is Voices of Sorrow, and it's published by Veritas.ie. And it's about Lent, and it's about people who are experiencing sorrow at the moment. And I know from being a chaplain, and I know from my own experience of sorrow, it's trying to give a voice for people to find a resonance with each of the characters. Because while we can get nearly desensitized to sorrow in our world at the moment, we've got horrific things happening in Turkey and in Syria and in Ukraine. We're coming up to a first anniversary. And in a way, we can nearly be to protect our own minds and hearts, we can nearly be switched off from the word sorrow. So this is...
We can get desensitized to it, can't we?
Completely. And I found it in my own experience of grief as well, that there's a reluctance to talk about I'm sad, which is part of each of the characters in the book. So there's different characters like Dismas, the good thief. There's Mary of Magdala, and she is the only character who features in the 3 books. There is Procula, the wife of Pilate. There is Judith, the mother of Barabbas. So it's each different characters are reflecting different aspects of what sorrow can be and what life can take from us.
And in an interesting way, probably characters in the Bible that we mightn't have thought of what sorrow felt like through their eyes.
And given a voice to. So the experience that the mother of Barabbas would have would be completely different to the experience of the woman at the well, Tamar. So it's a lot about feeling on the outside. It's a lot about, and the way the book is written is it's to be read aloud first. And I'm very lucky with the people who I collaborated with. Bree Dunn did the photography, and Antahar Brino Ferry did the Irish translations. So you're to read them aloud and then look at the image and see what strikes your heart.
Tell us a little bit, Father, about the other 2 books in the trilogy.
So Voices of Hope is really, was the first book I wrote. And in typical Lorcan fashion, I wrote the books backward. I wanted to show characters who've come through sorrow and joy and then are speaking from a place of hope. So they're the Easter voices, which are kind of really timely at the moment to give people who are in the middle of sorrow, there's a little bit of hope in it. And the voices of joy are the Christmas characters who, from the Advent time, it's an Advent prayer series. So they, even though they're very joyful, there's a tinge of sadness in them and they're holding on for hope. So it's kind of cyclical. The books are cyclical by nature. So they're 21 characters that kind of speak to people, and I just hope they touch people's heart.
Well, it's been great to have you with us, Father, and we wish you all the best with the books. Thanks for joining us on iCatholic today.
And thanks for taking the time, because I just want to acknowledge the proceeds, the authors' royalties go to Christine and Elizabeth, 2 vulnerable young children out in Uganda. So every book that's sent, my royalties go straight to them. And they're supported by the DMJ order who are out in Uganda, Sister Mona and Eileen Maher. So big shout out to them as well.
Wow, sounds like fantastic books, and as you say, the proceeds going to a worthy cause. Fr Lorcan Kenny, thanks for joining us on iCatholic today.
Take care, Wendy. God bless.
And thank you for joining us on iCatholic. And if you want to get a copy of one or all of the books in Fr Lorcan's trilogy, you can get them on Veritas.ie.